Ancient Greek philosophies, Hinduism, Buddhism, non-self and self. Hinduism. In Hinduism, the concept of Atman is central. Atman is considered the eternal, unchanging self or soul, which is a part of the universal reality known as Brahman. The goal of many Hindu practices is to realize the unity of Atman and Brahman, overcoming the illusion, Maya, that they are separate. Buddhism. Buddhism, on the other hand, introduces the concept of anatta or anatman, which translates to non-self or no soul. Here's a breakdown. Anatta, non-self Buddhism teaches that there is no permanent, unchanging self or soul. What we consider the self is actually a collection of 5 aggregates: skandhas: form, sensation, perception, mental formations, and consciousness. These aggregates are constantly changing, and thus, the self is seen as an illusion. Dependent origination. This concept explains that everything exists in a web of causation and is interdependent. Because there is no independent, permanent self, everything arises and ceases in dependence on causes and conditions. Greek philosophies. Ancient Greek philosophies generally do not delve into the concept of non-self in the same way as Buddhism. Here's how they approach the self. Pythagoreanism and Orphism. These schools believed in the immortality and transmigration of the soul, similar to the Hindu idea of reincarnation, but did not explicitly discuss the idea of a non-self. Plato. Plato's philosophy posits an immortal soul that seeks truth and knowledge. The soul is divided into 3 parts: the rational, the spirited, and the appetitive, which can be seen as somewhat analogous to the aggregates in Buddhism, but Plato still sees the soul as an enduring entity. Stoicism. Stoic philosophers believed in a rational soul connected to the universal reason, logos. While they emphasized living in harmony with nature and understanding one's place in the universe, they did not explicitly propose the idea of non-self. Key differences. Permanent versus non-permanent self. Hinduism asserts a permanent self, Atman, that is part of the universal reality, Brahman. Buddhism denies any permanent self, anatta, and views the self as an illusion arising from the interaction of impermanent aggregates. Greek philosophies, while discussing the soul and its immortality, do not address the concept of non-self as found in Buddhism. Focus on the self. Greek philosophies generally focus on the self as an entity that seeks truth, knowledge, and rationality. They do not discuss the idea of the self being an illusion or non-existent. In essence, while Hinduism and Greek philosophies emphasize the existence and nature of the soul or self, Buddhism uniquely challenges this by proposing that what we consider the self is merely a collection of ever-changing components, with no enduring, permanent essence.